1.
Yay! We're at the Conscious Life Expo. I'm with the awesome Blake D. Bauer, and you're going to tell us about your book, about your message, and you're also teaching some amazing classes today.
Yes, I just got done teaching Qigong. If you're not familiar with Qigong, it's similar to Tai Chi, except it's older. It is the foundation of Chinese medicine.
Wow.
And considered the highest form of Chinese medicine. So I just taught a 2-hour class where I took everybody through their whole body, and it unlocks all the stuck energy, blood, and emotion that's keeping you sick or stuck in your life.
Wow. Can you see, like, where my energy is stuck? Can you just, like, look at me and see?
I think you're doing pretty good.
Oh, God, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think your energy looks great.
That's good. That's good. And so what do you do in Qigong? Is it like yoga or?
Similar, more like yin yoga. So
Okay.
gentle, slow practices. People are more familiar with Tai Chi.
Okay.
So slow movements, deep breathing, and like I said, we go through all the joints because basically each joint in Chinese medicine is considered a gate through which energy and blood flows.
Wow.
And if the gate is closed, you have pain, low energy, you get depressed, you get sick, whereas if the gates are open and your energy, your blood, your spirit, your life force are flowing, you're well, and then you experience that flow in your outer world as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, so interesting. So you do practice this every day?
I do. I've been practicing for over 20 years.
Wow.
Yes.
And how did you learn? Like, did you just go to class?
I was actually studying Chinese medicine for a while, and then I discovered that this is actually considered the highest form of the medicine. Because let's say I'm an acupuncturist,
Yeah.
and you come to me with some pain in your arm,
Uh-huh.
I can treat you, and then you go away, and if you're still doing the thing that gave you the pain, it's going to come back, right?
Yeah.
But if you come to me and I teach you Qigong, and you know how to self-heal and unlock the stuck blood and stuck energy for yourself, then you don't need to come back to me as much.
Oh, I want to learn how to do that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Very
It's
cool.
very empowering.
Yeah. So what else do you do besides Qigong?
So I have always struggled with self-love as a soul and as a man. And so for 23 years, I've been asking the question, like, what is self-love? How do I love myself from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed? And I wrote a book about this that has become an international bestseller in 14 languages called You Were Not Born to Suffer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I teach people how to love themselves, practically, no BS. Like, how do I actually have an optimal, loving, healthy relationship to myself from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed, so I'm not hurting myself with my thoughts and my habits.
What is your #1 tip for people watching on how to love yourself, or do they have to read the book?
No, you know, the one question I love the most is if you were to value yourself 100% today in every situation and relationship, what would you say and what would you do? And then I say, do that.
Wow.
So it's loaded because a lot of us don't value ourselves in a lot of situations and relationships. And so when you say, like, you know, if I actually valued myself 100% today.
Yeah. Okay. Our camera person. Hello. Come in. I don't know. Great. Open the door for them. All right. Sorry about that. Anyway. So value yourself. And now where can we find your book? Is it on Amazon?
Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, anywhere.
How did you get published? Like, what were the steps of getting published? That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, the journey started when I was 17, when I fell asleep in front of train tracks in the middle of the night on a bunch of drugs and alcohol. Got arrested, got a terrible DUI. I was captain of the football team in high school, supposed to play college football.
Wow.
Got kicked off the team, lost my offers to play college football, and fell into a suicidal depression.
Oh, God.
And then I began healing at 18, asking what are the secrets and keys to healing, to loving yourself, to be well, and what am I doing on the earth? When I was 24, after 6 years of asking that question every day, I had this epiphany about self-love, where I could see that all of our suffering comes from us never learning how to love ourselves in childhood. And I was like, I just want to tell everybody. And the next thought was, I have to write a book. And I had no idea how to do it or how to get published. So from 24 to 26, I pitched over 100 agents and publishers.
Wow.
Was rejected by every single one of them. Finally got a deal with one of the biggest self-help publishers in the world, only to get screwed over by them.
Oh, no.
And then I self-published. So that means I printed, distributed, marketed, set up my own tours, ended up doing that. I was living actually in Australia at the time.
Wow.
And the book became the #1 best-selling self-help and spiritual book in Australia as a self-published book.
Wow.
And then I sold that to the oldest spiritual publisher in London a couple of years later, and now it's been translated in 14 languages and is an international bestseller.
That is amazing. Wow. And you just did it yourself.
I did. I printed, distributed, marketed, and toured on 3 continents because I had to get this message out to as many people as I could.
Now, did that cost you a lot of money because you're publishing, you're making the books yourself, you're having this demand? Like, how did you?
I just any money I made on any event, I put back into the business, into the book, and into sharing the message, trusting that, offering this value was the most important thing, and it's just grown and grown over the years.
And now, I feel like because you loved yourself so much, you were able to make that jump, because it's so hard to kind of go somewhere blind faith. I know we all have dreams. Do you have any advice for people who have dreams out there who may want to publish their own book or do what you're doing?
Absolutely. One is, I would say, there was a point where I was part-time in my own practice helping people and part-time selling vitamins and herbs at a store, and I wanted to go full-time into my practice. And a friend of mine said, when you jump, the net will appear. And I was like, I don't like these BS spiritual cliches. I wanted to understand, why would the net appear? When is the net going to appear? I wanted more control over my destiny and my situation. And I finally did make the leap because my frustration and dissatisfaction in my life at that time was enough that I was like, I can't do this anymore. And after I did that, what I realized is that the reason the net appears when you make the leap is because before that, you're actually living in a state of fear. And you can say, I want to publish the book, I want to find true love, I want to be happy, but you're actually living in a state of fear. So your heart is closed, your energy is closed, and your mind is closed. So you're saying you want something, but then you're actually blocking it with the other hand. And so when you actually take that leap of faith and your heart's open and your mind's open and your energy's open, you're actually vulnerable enough to receive the thing you're actually asking for. And I think that dynamic is really hard for some people to understand. So I think that's one thing. The other thing is that part of like my self-love journey is like, on a personal and intimate level, I was always looking for, let's say, a woman to love me or value me, and I had to learn to love and value myself first. But then I did the same thing professionally. I was looking for a publisher to value me or love me and say that my ideas had value or that I was worthy of being published. And when I self-published and I got to the point where I realized that I'm never again going to wait on anybody to tell me that my ideas or my suffering and my healing have value, that was my big breakthrough, is when I stopped waiting for someone else to validate my dream and my experience. And I said, I'm going to do it anyways because I trust myself and I trust what I've been through. So I would say, trust yourself. And if you are good to yourself today and you don't betray yourself today, you'll trust yourself more tomorrow, and then this starts to snowball. So
no, I like that. I'm an actor, so it's rejection all the time.
Yes.
I've made my own stuff. I've tried it all, but it's just like getting to these modes of like after you get rejected so many times, it's like it's so hard.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how do you I guess I get my question. It's like, how do you I guess stay loving yourself, loving what you're doing with all that rejection? Like, what's your advice?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, and this was a hard lesson, was that the pain of rejecting myself is actually far more damaging than the pain of being rejected by somebody else.
Yes, yeah.
So we have this fear that other people are going to reject us, but what we don't realize is that when we reject ourselves, we actually make ourselves sick.
Yeah.
And hurt ourselves so much. So that's the #1 thing, is to accept ourselves and follow our heart, speak our truth, even if it's not received, even if we're misunderstood, because then we're not rejecting and betraying ourselves. And over time, you just get really good at it, and you know that, I love the saying, rejection is divine redirection.
Yeah.
Right? And
or God's protection. Or,
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for love, right?
Yeah.
Because that's another place that we get rejected. It's like, well, if I want someone and choose someone, if she doesn't choose me, if that person doesn't choose you, it's not meant to be, right? Because the right person's going to choose you.
That's true.
But through this journey, you learn to stop rejecting yourself, to value yourself, to know you're worthy, to know you're enough, and that the right things will find you at the right time.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. Where can people find you on social media? Because you have a page for your book and then your personal social.
Yeah, on Instagram, I'm at Blake D. Bauer. On Facebook, I'm at You Were Not Born to Suffer. And my website is unconditional-selflove.com.
Well, thank you so much. Great to meet you. And we're going to jump on Instagram for a few. But thanks, guys, for watching. Please follow him everywhere. Check out his book. You can get it on Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Nobles, and a bunch of other places.
Kindle, right? anywhere you get your book. I think even Spotify now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.